So let's talk about the wedding, because now we've warmed up to. There's a wedding coming up. I think there's a wedding coming up, and all of you are going to be seeing the wedding. You're going to be seeing this after the wedding is over, but I think there's a little wedding coming up in about a week, probably a little bit more than a week.
That's right. It's your sister's daughter.
Yeah, that's right. So obviously incredibly exciting, but Kate's been a client of yours for a long time. So she's been several years, right? And her family as well.
Yeah.
Right? So tell us, what does this mean to you to be doing a royal wedding?
Do you want me to answer again?
I'm particularly proud of him and our team, obviously. It's fantastic. It's wonderful.
It's the most amazing thing
honour.
that could have ever have dropped from the sky. I can tell you, it is just. I said in our interview earlier, I think there were a couple of times, maybe 3 times if you're lucky in your career, where there's this theory that you make your own luck, and we truly believe that you do make your own luck to a degree, but sometimes you just get lucky, and every hairdresser in the land, I truly believe, would love to do her hair for the wedding. And it's not just her hair we're doing, it's the whole bridal party. So it's mother, sister, bridesmaids, friends of family. I mean, we're going to have about 8 or 9 of the salon staff actually with Kate and her family in the morning from the hotel that she's getting ready in before she leaves to go to Westminster Abbey. But not only that, we're opening up the salon because we've got many, many clients that are also going to the wedding as well. Okay. Her and her family have been coming for 8 years. In fact, before even she met Prince William. When a mother brings a daughter into a salon like ours, you don't say, oh, well, I want Richard Ward to cut her hair. You send your daughter to one of our up-and-coming stylists because they happen to be cheaper. And the most amazing thing is that she's actually stuck with our stylist James, who cut her hair pretty much on that very first time.
Wow.
And she's been loyal and she's stuck with him, and they just developed a relationship between them all the way through when she was dating Prince William, and also sort of the mother and the sister and even her father comes to the salon, because we do quite a lot of men as well. So it is a relationship that we sort of really just wasn't even conscious of it. They were just like any other clients. It was, do you know what? It was about 4, she'd been coming for 4 years and I didn't even know who she was.
Was it difficult though, like at the time when she did start dating him, were there paparazzi around the salon all the time and everything? Was that challenging?
It's got particularly difficult in the last few months, you can imagine.
But was it then when she was dating him?
She'd be in, and then the next day we'd see it in the papers.
There would be paparazzi, but we're used to paparazzi quite often outside the salon.
Because celebrities.
Listen, they all know who I am. I can tell you that because I chase them down the King's Road.
Do you?
She chases them down. I say, look, come back when she's gone and try and get the name in while you're No, she's... But I think the most important thing that I really want to stress, which I keep saying to everybody, just because they were coming for 8 years, we obviously, once she'd been coming for like 6 or 7 years, we started to think, well, hang on, what if he marries her? God, we might get the wedding. That would be amazing. But I've always said, and it's just our philosophy always, that because everyone said, oh, well, if he marries her, you'll get the gig, you'll get the wedding. Well, I never assume we get the wedding. You'd be a fool to. I've always thought, well, how wonderful that she's been coming. We've had so much publicity, not instigated by us, because if a high-profile person, as she's not a celebrity, a well-known, very high-profile royal, someone like that, future Queen of England, of course it started getting written about that she was coming to get her haircut with us. It's the worst kept secret in the land. I mean, Kate, there's so much interest in her, even where she shops, where she eats.
I think it's probably true that there would be some royals, or now she's coming into the royal family, that might say, you have to go here, you have to go here. What is it about her that made her decide to stick with to stick with James in your salon on the biggest day? That probably is happening, for her
that's what I was
in her
coming
lifetime,
to.
and certainly for England.
We didn't assume that we were going to get that gig, and it was pretty much straight away, because they feel comfortable in coming. And I think it's
And they trust you, maybe, right?
But they totally trust it, and they know that in 8 years there hasn't been one bit of press that's come out which has been clearly instigated by us. You can't stop people writing stuff about and speculating about what happens and where she goes and this, that and the other. But it's very clear that there hasn't been one bit of press that's come out of our salon. And actually, she thanked me for that. She thanked me for that one day, which and that's what loyalty is about. The amazing thing is that she's such a real person and a natural person that she doesn't want to change anything. Yeah. And I feel quite lucky that we know her as well as we do. So when we've been doing our practices, you know, we'll have a laugh and joke like you would any other 28-year-old. Yeah. Nothing has changed. And she's got a great sense of humour. I mean, she's a truly fantastic girl, you know, and I think at the end of the day, there's going to be, her life is going to change and has already changed so much that really the people that knew her before are always going to be perhaps the ones that she's going to feel most comfortable with, because you meet her afterwards, and if I'd met her afterwards, I can tell you I would be absolutely doing it in my pants if I had to go and do her hair. And now I just don't even give it a second thought. It's like she's like a friend. I mean, we don't have to call her. We still won't have to call her anything different. She wants to be called the same. She's actually told me that she still intends to come to the salon as much as she can because she wants to keep it real.
But can she really?
Well, we have
that?
to. Well, we have to find a corner, and she might come later in the day. That's all I'm prepared to say. But I mean, but she doesn't want to be shut away in the ivory tower.
So you were obviously here in London. You knew what was going on with Princess Diana. She was how old? 19 when she got married.
Yeah.
So how different? I mean, to me, it seems, and certainly you all know better than any of us do in America. Kate seems like she's probably been given, she's now had an opportunity to understand what that means to become royalty, where, you know, Diana was so thrown into it, obviously did an amazing job and was so loved. But do you think there's any difference about that? What makes Kate maybe a little bit more comfortable?
This is just my opinion. This is not what I know. This is just how I feel as a layman out there, as one of the British people. I think that the monarchy has moved on a lot. And I think it's modernised a lot, and I think she will totally and perfectly fit that bill for a modern princess. I think you can't compare with Princess Diana because it's a completely different era.
Such a different time. The engagement. So tell us about what she was looking for, why you chose. Obviously, it was beautiful and flowy, but what was she looking for, and why was that so important on that look on that day?
Well, I mean, it was just, to be honest with you, the look that she had on the engagement pictures were exactly how we do her hair every time she comes into the salon. You know, that's just her. It wasn't anything special. She just, and you'll see as everybody gets to know her more and sees more and more pictures of her, she is just a natural girl, and she's and you know, it's not about too much fuss, you know. But we're very blessed. She has amazing
Beautiful hair. Beautiful.
You know,
do you do colour for her as well?
I couldn't possibly tell you. Listen, I've had my name put to some celebrities' hair when, you know, it's been tricky hair and it doesn't always look great. Every time Kate walks out of the door, you know, her hair looks great. Yeah. It really does. So we're very, very lucky like that. But I would say that, I mean, it's become known as the Chelsea blow dry. And everybody, so many people with long hair. In fact, people in the States seem to love it because we get emailed all the time. And we've had so many American clients. If you've got long hair and you want to wear it in that way, that glossy way, and the layers are long. I mean, that is how I think that you should be wearing long hair today. That's the modern way of wearing long hair. But most importantly, it should gleam with shine, and it should look quite organic, and it should have that swish factor. That's what good hair is. If you're going to wear your hair long, it needs to look glossy and healthy. Layers don't want to be too short. I mean, look, listen, it's not a trendy look. It's not a trendy look, but it's a beautifully sophisticated, elegant
very
look.
Much. She wears a lot of hats, so do you have to, you know, change her hair specifically for the hats? It seems like she still wears it down in exactly the same way.
The fascinators are very, very popular, and I can tell you, you know, sometimes she'll just do it herself. You know, she really isn't high maintenance. You know, I'd love to say we're around there all the time and she's in all the, you know, no, she really isn't. The less fuss for her, the better.
And how do you think her being the princess of this, you know, of this country of England, how will the monarchy change? Will it? Because she does appear to be so friendly and warm, and that whole sort of, you know, the stuffiness of the royals, at least as we see it, seems like she just doesn't have any of that.
Well, there's one person that we all forget who is standing by her side is Prince William.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I've met him on a couple of occasions, and her and him together the monarchy is in very safe hands.
Yeah.
I can tell you.
That's
He
great.
is the most wonderfully charming, lovely, down-to-earth man. You wouldn't believe how charming he is. He's absolutely lovely. The two of them will make a wonderful job, really.
Yeah.
They will. The monarchy, I mean, it's gonna move on. They will modernise it in their own way.
It seems
And I
like
think
that, in a really warm way, though.
Yeah,
in a very
absolutely
warm way.
right. Absolutely right.